Hi, my name is Peter Bennett. I'm a senior business major, and for my business practicum, I worked at the event staff at Beechwood Sales and Service. So, Beechwood is a beverage distributor located just outside Milwaukee, and here's just a couple of the brands we deliver. So, a great thing about this position was I was able to learn the ins and outs of the company by working with multiple departments and positions. The operations department is the core of the business. They deliver to permanent retailers like grocery stores and bars, and they also manage the warehouse inventory. So events needs to communicate with them all the products that we deliver and return. The sign shop is a printing room we have on premise, and the events personnel would work in there like once or twice a week, printing, cutting signs, and then organizing them based on the customers. And finally, the point of sale room has all of our merchandise like branded glasses, coasters, and tap handles. Um, it's a station I would work at fulfilling orders for salesmen and entering them into the system. We had various equipment for customers to rent, like coolers, fridges, tap handles, and caddies, which you can see in the picture. They were like mobile fridges that also had tap lines for kegs on them. We would have to clean out our equipment every time we return them and make sure they were running at the correct temperature during the job. On jobs, when we were on site, we typically had to do inventory management. We would keep track of what each vendor or station had during the day, and at the end of the day, we would assess whether we would need to bring more product for the next day. Also, Beechwood offers full refunds on products, so at the end of the day, at the end of each event, we would need to subtract unused products from the invoices. The events department would serve customers who needed temporary points of sale, like a fair booth. We would cater to county fairs, church and school festivals, and other businesses like bars that wanted to have an outdoor event. Here are some of the events that we supplied to and worked. Each event has a different array of products. For example, Bastille Days in Milwaukee, the one with the mini Eiffel Tower, gives out a free drink to everyone who completed the 5K. And it's likely that the runners would want something light like a seltzer or a Michelob Ultra after the race, so we'd have to stock each location accordingly. Oftentimes, assignments we were given granted a good amount of free time. I learned from various encounters to not treat free time like it is your own and to always be watching for something to happen that needs your attention. We did not handle cash or sell any of our products, and even though the businesses we were working with understood this, customers waiting in long lines would be confused when one of us was just standing around and not serving them. It was also necessary to communicate clearly our company policies and use of our equipment. Oftentimes, our equipment would be damaged or not be running properly, and we would have to talk with frustrated customers or explain which ones could not be used. I also learned a lot about inventory management. In our warehouse, products were organized by popularity and size. While it was impossible to keep track of where specific products were, using these rubrics, it was easy to narrow them down. When managing inventory during events, we needed to keep track of what products were popular and at what time of day. We would also have to plan out our restocks based on efficiency because it takes time to navigate through crowded fairgrounds. We would also have to work with businesses on a refund policy. An example of this would be if a keg is tapped and one beer is poured from it, then it is ineligible to be returned. So we would have to be aware of our customers' demand. Some ethical concerns were theft and dishonesty with clock-in times. Our managers trusted us to clock in on our phones, which meant that it would be easy to put in false information about the hours we worked. And when one of my coworkers was caught doing this, the manager gave him the benefit of the doubt and assumed it was a miscommunication of when the clock-in times were, but also warned him about doing it again. Seeing as this is an easily fixed problem, I think they were just in their response to this issue, but it's likely that they let dishonesty go unpunished. There was also some issues with theft or misuse of some of the company's property. Money was not usually the issue, so workers were not having money taken out of their paychecks, but it was a matter of principle and being professional for us to not consume any of our products. even if they were unable to be returned or refunded. People who broke these rules would usually get a warning and loss of some privileges or responsibilities. I did not experience any layoffs at my time because our managers were able to prevent any problems reoccurring, and they valued honesty a lot and were very happy whenever someone would come forward with their mistakes. Beer industry. Reflecting back on what I learned about the beer distributing industry, it is monopolistic and necessary evil. There is only one other distributor in the Milwaukee area, and they are not even our competition because they do not serve the same brands as us. This is because federal law states that the manufacturer cannot sell directly to a retailer, which is where our business comes in. This makes it so that we take a cut from all the small local craft breweries and set the market entrance to be extremely difficult. Both of our distributors also have contracts with some annual events so that they're the only supplier. For example, Beer Capital, the other distributor, has a contract with Milwaukee Irish Fest, making it impossible to buy Guinness there. And while this might just be a funny example, it shows that the industry actually limits access to some products, making it harder for smaller breweries to make a profit. Beechwood also did not renew its contract with a very popular small brewery because it was unable to keep up with our demand. And this would put the brewery in a very difficult situation if the other distributor also refused to do business with them. Well, Beechwood serves its employees decent. So the events position is an overall great way to get the sense of the industry and get experience in customer service. It is great for training a salesman, operations manager, and merchandiser, but I would not recommend it if you had aspirations to be an entrepreneur because of how regulated the field is. It also showed me that business was not just a warehouse full of beer. It offers rentals, signs, merchandise, and more. I would like my next job to have more creative liberty, but this was a great place to start. At the moment, I do not see myself going into the beverage distributing industry, but I think the skills I learned, especially the interpersonal skills, will be really useful. I'm also very thankful about all the different places I got to travel to and might put that as a need for future jobs. In the future, I would like to work for an organization with more of a ladder to scale. While the higher up employees have great benefits and a job they love, I would not want to hold the same job title for up to 10 years. So, in conclusion, I learned a lot about the business to business dealings and contracts, and I got my first experience in customer service. I also learned about the operation systems they use for organizing products and putting together deliveries. Working in multiple departments gave me an understanding of product cycle from delivery to the warehouse into a customer's hands. This work overall had a very elastic demand, and oftentimes we would not have a manager nearby, or we wouldn't be able to communicate with them. So I learned how to self manage and be a representative of the company. I also learned about the power a distributor has over the businesses in the area. I would not recommend starting as a competitor. While I mostly chose the job because I thought there would be perks of getting free samples, I'm happy about the lessons it taught me and how I can relate it to my business classes. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to your comments.